What's going on out there, traders? How we doing in this environment? Another green day tech bounces back in some really great movers that we talked about on pre-market prep live trading before the market opened, because of course that's what we try to do, is to give you guys really actionable ideas that you guys can learn on. Of course, it's not investment advice, but man, what a good call on certain stocks. Let's talk a little bit about that. Of course, we've been looking to see what would happen with technology today, and here you guys have it. Really nice bounce back there on the Qs. And we were seeing this even coming in the pre-market. And there were certain stocks that we were looking to see if they would outperform, right? One that I mentioned, AMD. Look at that action today. Really nice day from AMD. And it's not only AMD. We'll just make note here. It went up like about 7% from the open action there, and overall like 9%. So really nice move there on AMD. You can see it in Nvidia. Really nice move here. And then another stock that I gave on pre-market prep was Intel. Nice little reversal on the day as this went red to green here, came back to the support right here, held that 4120 area and bounced right back up there to 4230s, even getting as high on the day as 4244. So this just tells me, there you guys have it. If you're looking for that tech run, well, we got a lot of names to make a nice little push back to the upside today. Meta having a really decent day. Let's go to some of the top names in the queue on the day. Of course, you guys see it right here. And we see Walgreens Boots Alliance with a big move up to 23, up about 7% from the open. AMD shows up there. Airbnb with another great move. And this has actually been a really nice move back above. And this is one that I wanted back at 120 for a longer term trade. And it's looking actually like it's having a pretty good, month. And I think we got to continue to watch this. This could run into maybe the 150s before turning around into sometime next year if we see a consumer slowdown. But it's definitely something to keep your eyes on. We'll see what happens there on Airbnb and other names. Of course, you guys in the chat, what are you guys seeing today? Like always, smash the like if you guys are enjoying the stream. It's good to see Tony out there, Kevin, Rob, France, EKS, Boba Plays, talking about Hood. Kathy's been buying up a lot of Hood, and Hood's been looking good. So Boba Plays, I guess you're with Kathy. I don't know if we're happy about that. You tell me. What do you think? All right, Jay, how we doing? JetBlue up over 15%. Who was talking about the airlines yesterday? Of course, I was mentioning UAL as one of the favorites. But yeah, JetBlue had a really good day, taking off today. American Airlines got all the way up there past the 14. This is one of the trades that we talked about here on Start Swing Trade. I got out of it just for a small gain, just because I got impatient here as we were going sideways. But that just goes to show us, right? When we're going sideways above our entry in the green, a lot of times it's going to be good to just try to let the stock ride itself out, right? And then get that consolidation and then the next move higher. That's where we could have been selling out. I would be selling into this move for American, as you now have gone into that gap fill. And that's what the important part here is. Once we fill this gap, this is when I was thinking, okay, yeah, I'd head out the door as that go ahead and fill. And a lot of times after we get that fill, we get a pullback. So I don't want to get caught on the pullback. We'll see what happens if this turns around. But DAL doing well. We talked about save when we were doing this trade, and look how that's done. I mean, that got all the way up to 16 from where we were looking at it at 9. And I remember we drew these right there on that day. So we're talking the 13th of November. Not a bad move there for what? Less than a month? Pretty good move. All right, let's keep going. Let's go to the sectors today. Industrials taking lead, but it wasn't all the big names today, right? Boeing actually turned red today. UNP in the red today. Honeywell in the red. RTX, defensive name, in the red. Lockheed Martin, Deere. It just kind of carried on with some of the smaller names. Some of the smaller cap names really kind of getting a nice little push. So that's something that we need to keep our eyes open for. And I talked about it yesterday with Deere, where we just start to reject and come towards the 350s. And it seems like we're getting that. Cat has tried to hold up for a while now. So if we continue to see this turnaround in industrials. Right now, XLI still staying hot, but I feel like at some point we're going to see this turn back to the downside. And that gives me opportunity to take a look at CAT to the short side. That gives me opportunity for XLI, maybe a name like Pakar. I can go ahead and look for a turnaround back to the downside. This is something that I'll definitely keep my eyes open for. And then, of course, G has been so hot. At some point, it has to get back some of the gains that it's had in the recent year. So I could see a pullback come back towards 115 and 110. I'm probably not betting against GE, but Boeing also pulled back today. At some point, these stocks are going to give a nice little turnaround look. For right now, I'd be waiting for it and try to react later than early on the move, because that's easily how you just get stopped out, and then you don't have ammo when the time comes to actually make the trade. I had a really good day in the day trading, at least from a short on a stock that many of you guys might have heard of this morning, Save Foods. So I got a really nice short on this one, guys. I got short up here into the 1650s, 1660 area, and rode this down into the fours. Got out in the 470s, but I mean, this made it all the way to the 360s. I could have been holding this overnight, but you know, one of the things is I just wanted to take the really nice gain. I don't short too many of these penny stocks, but this felt like an easy target. And cha-ching. That's why they call me Money Mitch, of course. Let's get after it. What are you guys taking a look at? What was your top trade of the day? Let me know, guys. Yo, Mitch, thanks for always being a bright light in the market. Yeah, always, man. That's one thing that I always like to bring, even when I have tough market days, like tough live trading day where I struggled. I always like to, take a second to reassess, right? Get those emotions under control. But be that presence that can really show people that you have to be, very nimble, quick, can't be stuck on just one day of trading. We got to just keep going. This process needs to be able to be repeatable, and we need to be able to take a losing day and turn that into 3 or 4 green days, right? So the mentality there is you need to sometimes just push things to a side. If there's certain mistakes you're making, learn from them, but also move forward and get back to success. All right, let's get after it. What are you guys taking a look at? Not your wisdom, Money Mitch? No, never. Mitch, I've been in CAH for a swing trade for the last 3 months, up 20%. Still has room in my eyes. Let's take a look at that one, because we got mentions this morning from Mark Chaikin on PreMarket Prep. And what did he mention? He mentioned CVS. That's not exactly what Cardinal Health, but in the space, right? In healthcare. And I've been looking at medical distribution stocks and healthcare plans. So let's talk a little bit about those areas today. Of course, when we're talking healthcare plans, we can take a look at different names there. But Cardinal Health here, I'm definitely taking a look to see what other names are making the move right now in this space. Of course, you got McKesson. I always take a look at that. That's going to be kind of your market cap leader. You got COR. So take a look at these, and I look at these kind of more in a weekly or monthly manner, because they have a tendency of stair stepping. And McKesson just keeps riding the 9 EMA. So unless I see that trend change, I could see these continuing to ride higher. But if you do see that trend change where McKesson starts to break that 9 and starts to really break trend lines, like let's say if I drew this right here and it starts to break that and close below, let's say to the 430s, that's when I'd be a little bit concerned that you could see Cardinal Health also pull back down. Another thing to keep in mind is as it gets back here towards this RSI where it tried to do an expansion, that was about 88. It could turn around a little bit past that 88. Right now, you're trading at 79 RSI on the daily. At some point, this might get to the point where it's too overbought and starts to turn back down. But historically, that's around the 88 level. So I would be looking for at least higher 80s to see that this could turn around. We'll see what happens there. All right, getting after it. I could not bring myself to buy today. It happens, okay? No worries. And it's going to happen. There's certain times where you can't buy and maybe you miss the first move and you just don't jump on it, Like that happened in Nvidia today. I wasn't able to grab Nvidia, but did I have a nice level to look at? Yes. But that doesn't mean that I'm always going to execute on the trade, right? I talked about Nvidia that I was looking for kind of a little bit of maybe a red to green, but then it went super green right out the gates, right? It gave a nice little breakout, but I was also looking for a pullback towards 457. I did not get this one. I was looking at other names at the time, but this is the type of thing that, once we see the moves that we were looking for, if the trade meets those objective standards, we have to take the trade. This is why sometimes you need to work on your variables to determine what exactly is your trade, and then just look to repeat that. Not thinking about it, but just taking the trade because the setup is there is actually okay, because that's what you need to do. A repeatable setup that when that setup presents itself, you take advantage and get to the profits. All right, let's keep going, team. What else is going out there? I slapped out more blue on the red day today. My best play this year. All right, there you go. Unless BIG breaks 12 before 24, hey, get after it, man. Take what you can. After hearing Mark this morning, and let me actually pull this to the top here. Okay. After hearing Mark this morning, I stopped in both stores. CVS parking lot indicator was pretty full and tons of old people. Walgreens had just a couple cars and opened an hour after CVS. Walgreens is doing good. CVS, I think in the long run, will do better, just because they're diversifying. So let's look for potential reloads here. And it looks like we're trying to hold yesterday's close, which was around this 73.37 level. So as long as it doesn't break 73 right now, we could continue stair stepping higher. So this looks like an opportunity to maybe risk off of that level, but it all determines on how you want to come after it here. Maybe somewhere below 74, risking the 73 makes sense for you. Of course, you guys determine that. For me, that's only what, a 1.3% risk for a move. And let's go to the 4-hour chart. I could see this move going towards the next resistance, which is a move to like 76. If we do get that move to 76, that's going to be a nice almost 3% gain. So almost a 3-to-1 outlook there. I'd have to maybe look for 77 to get that full 3-to-1 outlook. But just that alone tells me that I can be looking for CVS. Just need to get it at the right risk to reward. And it's always important to be thinking about that, right? Capital preservation, risk is the most important thing, but also understanding your reward if you're going to get that. Let's keep going. Money Mitch, don't want to criticize, but if you took smaller size and didn't day trade it, AMD would have been a big winner. Agreed, Jay. I don't disagree with this, Jay. I think it's a mentality that is good to talk about, right? I do day trading because I do also a day trading show, right? But you've clearly heard, and I know that you're a part of both shows, where my bread and butter lies, right? Where I feel I can be consistent enough to really get towards the profits and really continue that. That's in swing trading. And what is that? Like you said it here, taking that smaller size to giving the ability for the position to get through some of that volatility, especially intraday volatility, and then get that next move up. This is why I always start on daily charts. I think that's definitely the best way to continue moving forward, but that's what works for me, right? Doesn't necessarily mean that all day traders are going to struggle with that. Some day traders like to take bigger size, get in and out of trades, and not be in trades for a long period of time. I like to be in trades longer and let them do the heavy lifting. But it's a good mention. I like the mention there. All right, let's keep going. Risk management is my best friend next to my dog. Don't worry. My dog even knows about risk management. Trust me. There's certain times he sees the outside and he's like, yo, it's raining out there. I ain't going out there. Maybe you can go out there. I'm not doing it. We all use risk preservation. All right, let's keep going, team. What other stocks can we look at today? You guys keep throwing up those names. Let's go back to the market, see what we're seeing right here. Real estate has been staying hot. Energy is just cold, man. I wish we would have kept loading into the XLE because now look where we're at. And look how we drew this line, guys. We drew this line because it was a long-term trend line. That's that red line that you see here. It's so important for you guys to understand that the longer term the trend line is, the more it makes sense when it breaks it to start holding that level. We came back up to that level, rejected it multiple times, giving you the ability to load in this position and looking for the bigger move. That's exactly what XLE did. Now, there was times where I was selling the down drop and then trying to add to my position. And I think that's also the way to approach it. But now that we're really broken here, now we can start to look for continuation to the downside. Valero is one that we mentioned yesterday that could continue to the downside, and it's just starting to break. So I think this one's a great opportunity. Of course, you guys determine what you guys like for shorts, but does this look good to me? Yeah, it looks like it wants to let go. And all it really needs is oil to come into, like, let's say 66, 65s, because right now we're trading around the 69 level. And we've talked about how important it was to hold 70. Now that you're in the lower 60s, could it be possible that we go to low 60s and maybe even 50s and break the 52-week number? I think that's something that you need to be looking for, especially if you're a bear in oil. I love oil. We'll see what happens. Do you think AMD is going down tomorrow? I mean, I can't know that, right? I would think that AMD did a little bit of a takeoff today. So could it have an inside day tomorrow? Yeah, but do I expect it to be down below 120 tomorrow? Highly no. All right, let's keep going. Vic, what's going on? Hi, Mitch. I like to listen to your day trading, but too much bird noise. Hey, Vic, I'll work on it. I'll try to get a little bit more noise cancellation to kind of help Ryan out. We love the bird, so we want to keep it apart, but I understand if it's too much, and I always like feedback. So we'll definitely work on that, Vic. All right, let's keep going. Let's see what else is making a move here. How did Tesla do today? I wanted to keep an eye on it because I felt like it's setting up here for at least one more run for the year, and it doesn't look bad right now. Amazon's another one that I talked about this morning. Felt like it was setting up here for a move, and it's pulling back and catching the VWAP right now. So this actually doesn't look too bad to start making that move. Take a look at it on the 4-hour chart, right? And what do I see here? Well, I see that we keep going up into this area, and now we're starting to hold this trend line approach, right? So you can see how we've tried to like break out above this before, and we kind of have failed. Now we're starting to hold that 146 and looking like we want to take the next step up. Let's see if we can actually come and take out 148 in this level here where these closes kind of happen and open on this stock. So around 148.80 back through like 149, 150. It kind of makes sense there for Amazon to maybe get the next lift. It's just trying to reload and try to get going here. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what other stocks are being mentioned. That's nothing you should have heard, my Scarlett McCall. Thanks for Mark for the Square. Let's take a look at Square. Square's been hot, right? How's PayPal? Because I wanted to play PayPal off of that Square move. It's kind of hanging in there. Doesn't really want to get going as much as Square has done. Another one that I was looking at this morning was Toast. So let's just take a look at that, right? This is the story altogether. And let's see how Toast performed. It's kind of hanging in there. I just like the way that Toast is setting up here for a move back higher. I know Kathy got in it, so that scares me a little bit sometimes. Kathy is like a little bit of an omen. But payment stock has been setting up. You can see here that we keep fighting in this area. We struggle into like the 1550s. If we can actually close above that, this is actually looking like a really nice chart. All right, guys, let's keep working here. Let's take a look at what else is making a move here. Basic materials having a decent day in agricultural inputs. So this is something that I would maybe start to note. CF with a really nice liftoff today. MOS is another one I'd keep an eye out for. Mosaic's been on a huge decline in 23 and really a decline since 22. But at some point, I feel like there's some buying that's coming in here. And when I catch moments like this where volume all of a sudden jumps 2 or 3 times the volume, I sometimes will just set a level. Okay, if this stock really wants to look strong, it's going to break through this kind of 3730s. Let's go ahead and set the alert there and just wait for the day where I can be like, okay, this industry and sector is starting to change, and maybe I can nail this trade. All right, let's keep going. Rotation from small caps to permanent 7 or significant 7. Yeah, I think you can clearly see that. IWM today, kind of still hanging in there, so doesn't look too bad there still for the lower names. BRDR is showing up. Builders First Source getting another little move. I was looking at CAR. How's that doing? Still setting up there for the move through 54. This is one that I kind of like for a swing trade, but I will see if I take a trade on CAR tomorrow. Will not be doing start swing trade because I will be heading back to the home base. But trying to see if we can get this back above through 54. Doesn't look too bad. Carrier Global. I still really like this name. And what do I see here? What I just talked about, right? I always like to, if I give you guys education, I want to show you guys it show up multiple times. So what tells me that I can also take a look at this? Well, look at the volume jump here. It trades on average like about 3 million shares, and all of a sudden it jumps there to 9 million. To me, that's a buyer because it's right off support. I don't think that was a seller because if it made this move, he would probably want out. Do I know for certain that that's a buyer? No, but I also see what? A gap fill, go into that gap fill and bounce off of that. That's a bullish setup here. So traders would view it as bullish. Let's see if this can really start moving. All right, definitely smash the like. Let's keep it going, and we'll figure a way to like kind of attract the bird noises off of the stream. Let's go to the stocks that we'll report tonight. AVGO is one of those stocks. You got a couple of names that we'll be reporting tonight. I think Lulu also. So keep your eyes open. But AVGO, this has been an absolute monster for the year. Really good performer, and it's catching support right at the right level. Today, nice little bounce back level. I was talking about how would this resistance over here kind of hold, and it finally start finding support. Today was clearly one of those examples where it makes the attempt to break down, quickly recovers, and then even after that explosion, you still got to pull back to that level to get an opportunity to get it slightly above 906 and ride that up to 920 today. That's like 1.7%, but I don't know too many people that would probably be holding this move tonight. I'll have to wait to see what happens with the report. All right, let's keep going, guys. Of course, I've mentioned like AMD. Intel's one that's definitely having a decent time. Qualcomm staying hot, man. This tells me that this could also be an AI story that could outperform, like, let's say, names like NVIDIA, and you'll see AMD, Intel, maybe Qualcomm really continue that lift that we're seeing. All right, ARM, not actually doing too bad, guys. This has slowly started to build up some volume too. And I can take a look to see if we can get through 65 and really want to start pushing. If this can push, it just goes to show us how strong this tech rally is in Q4. What's up out there, Tony? It's good to see you. Always Miami, baby. 305, always. Zabi, Rost, I'm still short. Can you please take a look at that, buddy? Yeah, I can take a look at it. Like always, I'll give you the disclosure comment. Of course, this is for educational purposes, but I'll take a look at what I see, right? That's the important thing. That's what I try to deliver every single day for you guys. Okay, so you guys can see here that this has been extended. Let's take a look at the RSI. So a lot of times when I look at RSI, what do I want to see? I want to see how extended we are historically. So when have these pops turned around before? So I look for extreme measurements where it really kind of spiked and look to see if we're near that level. We're kind of close to there, but really not completely oversold. Oversold for this stock is closer to 90. It can only go to 100, guys. So that's the one thing that I would note. I'd be looking for this to make one more up move and then look to see if it starts to turn around. This can do good in the holidays, but I think we'll do really bad in January and going into Q1 of next year. So this is one that could top out. I think right now you saw a lot of buying on this kind of jump up. Let's see if this can continue to grind higher. You are running into a support that's longer, resistance that's longer term. And I'm going to actually pull this line up to that so you guys can really see that line. And this is exactly where it's turning around. So could it pull back here to 126 and then make the next move? That's also a possibility. Always understand that when stocks continue to go up to resistance, like you see here, 1, 2, 3 touches, it's hit that multiple times trying to get through. At some point, it usually comes down and tests the support. So I can see this coming back here towards the support or the prior resistance, which is going to be right around here. It's kind of like 131 area is what I'd be looking for pullback opportunities to join the party. 954 Hollywood Giancarlo. Believe it or not, Giancarlo, I have a 954 number. So I still represent Fort Lauderdale too. You got to represent it. Hollywood. All right, let's keep going, team. Zim Shipping still looking good. Well, you heard it from multiple guests. We had a guest on Pre-Market Prep the other day that was talking about how they can't move as much things through the Panama Canal because it just doesn't have enough water. Things like that are going to affect shipping stocks. I appreciate the love there, Vic. Like always, I still will be on shows tomorrow, so don't miss that, of course, just later in the afternoon. Got to catch a flight. All right, Southbound All Man Brothers Band. Ooh, enjoy it. I mean, you can't go wrong with some good music, some good tunes. All right, guys, what time is it now? What do we got, Sil? Is it? Oh, we got 2 minutes, team. 2 minutes for the bell. Let's take a look here before we get out of here. I'm keeping a close eye on this ANF because XRT has been hot, man. And it looked great today. So it continues going on a nice little pullback opportunity. I was watching it when it started making this 65-50 move, and it looked good. I like Starbucks also. I actually got stopped out of that today, but I kind of like this to start making that next up move. Maybe it's just because I'm buying too many caramel macchiatos, but we'll see if this can get back above 98. One of the things is if it can get it back above these moving averages, that's going to be important. XRT, a lot of times I'll just take a look at what was hot in this space, right? And if I see here, I see stocks like GME, right? GME making a big push up right now, guys. This thing is starting to squeeze again. I heard mentions of what happened with Ryan Cohen. If you guys don't know, definitely take a look at that. 2 minutes. 2 minutos is right, Tony. But take a look into that story. It looks like now Ryan Cohen could be making investments with the company's funds. This is going to be interesting. This could really end up like a big disaster for Ryan Cohen. But in the meantime, I'm sure the apes, the GME bulls out there, they're going to love to run with this. So be careful, especially if you're on the other side of the stick here for GME. I'll tell you one thing. I ain't shorting this. And I wouldn't even do it with your money out there, team. But like always, you guys determine if that's your game. I'll tell you one thing. I'm not going to get in front of a dragon and just get rocked. All right, let's keep going. KSS having a decent time. JWN, Macy's were names that I should see early on continuing to move up. And Victoria's Secret continuing the strength there. This is one name that I continue to just see climb. And of course, seasonality coming into play. But that's going to do it for us today, guys. The Q's closing up there towards the 390s. Let's take a look at the SPY. SPY not having a bad day, even though certain sectors just didn't rip today. We're still seeing the strength stay in the market. I think we're going to at least make this attempt to get through the 460s. Next level from there is around the 462 level. That's where we can maybe run into some resistance. But let's see if we can finally start clearing into the 460. What to watch tomorrow? Well, none other than pre-market prep. But what will we be talking about on pre-market prep? Well, we'll be talking about the job number. The job number is going to be very vital tomorrow. We also get unemployment, GDP outlook. Don't miss that. That's going to be, of course, on pre-market prep. I will be there, guys. You guys don't miss it. And like always, let me know what you guys want to see more on this show. I'm always willing to make improvements. I hope you guys have enjoyed my content here from, of course, Detroit downtown. And if you guys ever want to stop by the office, always reach out to us. We're always looking for great talent here at Benzinga and always looking to add to the team. So smash the like. I will see you guys bright and early. And like always, keep getting after it. What can you improve on your skills? Is it understanding an intermarket analysis? You guys always see me working in a backwards approach. Sectors, industries, then stocks. That's how I come after it. The question is, how will you come after this stock market? I'll see you next time, team. Smash the like.